With Trumpet and Drum by Eugene Field. With big tin trumpet and little red drum, marching like soldiers, the children come. It's this way and that way they circle and file, by that music of theirs is fine. This way and that way, and after a while they march straight into this heart of mine. A sturdy old heart, but it has to succumb to the blare of that trumpet and beat of that drum. Come on, little people, from cot and from hall, this heart is half welcome and room for you all. It will sing you its songs and warm you with love, as your dear little arms with my arms intertwine. It will rock you away to the dreamland above. Oh, a jolly old heart is this old heart of mine. And jollier still is it bound to become when you blow that big trumpet and beat that red drum. So come, though I see not his dear little face and hear not his voice in this jubilant place, I know he were happy to bid me enshrine his memory deep in my heart with your play. Ah me, but a laugh that is sweeter than mine holdeth my boy in its keeping today, and my heart it is lonely. So, little folk, come, march in and make merry with trumpet and drum. Krinken by Eugene Field. Krinken was a little child. It was summer when he smiled. Oft the hoary sea and grim stretched its white arms out to him, calling, "Sun, child, come to me. Let me warm my heart with thee." But the child heard not the sea. Krinken on the beach one day saw a maiden Liz at play. Fair and very fair was she, just a little child was he. "Krinken," said the maidenness, "let me have a little kiss. Just a kiss, and go with me to the summer lands that be down within the silver sea." Krinken was a little child, by the maidenness beguiled. Down into the calling sea with the maidenness went he. But the sea calls out no more. It is winter on the shore, winter where that little child made sweet summer when he smiled. Though 'tis summer on the sea, where with maidenness went he, summer, summer evermore, it is winter on the shore, winter, winter evermore. Of the summer on the deep come sweet visions in my sleep. His fair face lifts from the sea, his dear voice calls out to me. These my dreams of summer be. Krinken was a little child, by the maidenness beguiled. Oft the hoary sea and grim reached its longing arms to him, crying, "Sun, child, come to me, let me warm my heart with thee." But the sea calls out no more, it is winter on the shore, winter, cold and dark and wild. Krinken was a little child. It was summer when he smiled, down he went into the sea, and the winter bides with me. Just a little child was he. The Naughty Doll by Eugene Field. My dolly is a dreadful care. Her name is Miss Amandy. I dress her up and curl her hair and feed her taffy candy. Yet heedless of the pleading voice of her devoted mother, she will not wed her mother's choice, but says she'll wed another. I'd have her wed the China vase. There is no Dresden rarer. You might go searching every place and never find a fairer. He is a gentle, pinkish youth, of that there's no deny. Yet when I speak of him, forsooth, a Mandy falls to cry. She laughs the drum, that's very plain, and scorns the ways so clever, and weeping vows she will remain a spinster doll forever. The protestations of the drum, I am convinced, are hollow. When once distressing times should come, how soon would ruin follow? Yet all in vain that Dresden boy from yonder Mendel woos her. A mania for that vulgar toy, the noisy drum imbues her. In vain I wheel her to and fro, and reason with her mildly. Her waxen tears in torrents flow, her sawdust heart beats wildly. I'm sure that when I'm big and tall and wear long trailing dresses, I shan't encourage her at all till mamma acquiesces. Our choice will be a suitor then, as pretty as this vase is. Oh, how we'll hate the noisy men with whiskers on their faces. Nightfall in Dordrecht by Eugene Field. The mill goes toiling slowly around, with a steady and solemn creak, and my little one hears in the kindly sound the voice of the old mill speak. While round and round those big wide wings grimly and ghost-like creep, my little ones hears that the old mill sings, "Sleep, little tulip, sleep." The sails are reefed and the nets are drawn, and over his pot of beer the fisher against the morrow's dawn lustily maketh cheer. He mocks at the winds that caper along from the far-off clamorous deep, but we love their lullaby song of "Sleep, little tulip, sleep." Old dog Fritz in slumber sound groans of the stony mart. To-morrow how proudly he'll trot you round, hitched to our new milk cart. And you shall help me blanket the kine, and fold the gentle sheep, and set the herring a soak in brine. But now, little tulip, sleep. A dream one comes to button the eyes that verily droop and blink, while the old mill buffets the frowning skies, and scowls at the stars that wink. Over your face the misty wings of that beautiful dream one sweep, and rocking your cradle she softly sings, "Sleep, little tulip, sleep." Intry Mintry by Eugene Field. Lily and Bess, Georgie and May. Once, as these children were hard at play, an old man, hoary and tottering, came and watched them playing their pretty game. He seemed to wonder, while standing there, what the meaning thereof could be. But the old man yearned to share of the little children's innocent glee, as they circled around with laugh and shout, and told their rhyme at counting out. Intry Mintry, cutter a corn, apple seed and apple fawn, wire, briar, limber, lock, 12 geese in a flock. Some flew east, some flew west, some flew over the cuckoo's nest. Lily and Bess, Georgie and May, the mirth of that summer day. 'Twas Father Time who had come to share the innocent joy of those children where. He learned betimes the game they played, and into their sport with them went he. How could the children have been afraid, since little they recked who he might be? They laughed to hear old Father Time mumbling with curious nonsense rhyme of Intry Mintry, Capricorn, apple seed and apple fawn, wire, briar, limber, lock, 12 geese in a flock. Some flew east, some flew west, some flew over the cuckoo's nest. Willie and Bess, Georgie and May, and joy of summer, where are they? The grim old man still standeth near, crooning the song of a far-off year. And into the winter I come alone, cheered by that mournful requiem, soothed by the dolorous monotone that shall count me off as it counted them. The solemn voice of old Father Time, chanting the homely nursery rhyme. You learned of the children a summer morn, when with apple seed and apple fawn, life was full of the dulcet cheer, that bringeth the grace of heaven anear, the sound of the little ones' heart at play. Willie and Bess, Georgie and May. Pittypat and Tippytoe by Eugene Field. All day long they come and go, Pittypat and Tippytoe. Footprints up and down the hall, playthings scattered on the floor, finger marks along the wall, telltale smudges on the door. By these presents you shall know Pittypat and Tippytoe. How they riot at their play, and dozen times a day in they troop demanding bread. Only buttered bread will do, and that butter must be spread inches thick with sugar too. And I never can say, no, Pittypat and Tippytoe. Sometimes there are griefs to soothe, sometimes ruffled brows to smooth, for, I much regret to say, Tippytoe and Pittypat sometimes interrupt their play with an internecine spat. Fie, for shame, to quarrel so, Pittypat and Tippytoe. Oh, the thousand worrying things every day recurrent brings. Hands to scrub and hair to brush, search for playthings gone amiss, many a wee complaint to hush, many a little bump to kiss. Life seems one vain, fleeting show to Pittypat and Tippytoe. And when day is at an end, there are little dots to mend, little frocks are strangely torn, little shoes great holes reveal, little whos but one day worn rudely yawn at toe and heel. Who but you could work such woe, Pittypat and Tippytoe? But when comes this thought to me, somewhere are the childless be, stealing to their little beds with a laugh I cannot speak. Tenderly I stroke their heads, fondly kiss each velvet cheek. God help those who do not know a Pittypat or Tippytoe. On the floor and down the hall, rudely smudged upon the wall, there are proofs in every kind of the havoc they have wrought, and upon my heart you'd find just such trademarks if you sought. Oh, how glad I am 'tis so, Pittypat and Tippytoe. Balow, my bonny, by Eugene Field. Hush, bonny, dinna great, mother will rock her sweet, Balow, my boy. When that his toil ben done, Daddy will come and hush be, my little one, Balow, my boy. Gin thou dost sleep, perchance fairies will come to dance, Balow, my boy. Oft have thy mother seen moonlight and Mörkland queen, dawns on thy slumbering een, Balow, my boy. When droned the bumblebee softly with song to thee, Balow, my boy, and a wee heatherbell, plucked from a fairy dell, chimed thee with rune herself, Balow, my boy. Sir Bonnie Dinegreed, mother doth rock her sweet, Balow, my boy. Give me thy little hand, mother will hold it and lead thee to Balow land, Balow, my boy. The Hawthorne Children by Eugene Field. The Hawthorne Children, 7 in all, are famous friends of mine, and with what pleasure I recall how, years ago, one gloomy fall, I took a tedious railway line and journeyed by slow stages down unto its sleepy seaport town, albeit one worth seeing, where Hildegard, John, Henry, Fred, and Beatrix, and Gwendolen, and she that was the baby then, these famous 7, as aforesaid, lived, moved, and had their being. The Hawthorne Children gave me such a welcome by the sea, that the 8 of us were soon in touch, and though their mother marvelled much, happy as larks were we. Egad, I was a boy again with Henry, John, and Gwendolen, and oh, the funny capers I cut with Hildegard and Fred. The pranks we heedless children played, the deafening awful noise we made, 'twould shock my family if they read about it in the papers. The Hawthorne Children all were smart. The girls, as I recall, had comprehended every art appealing to the head and heart. The boys were gifted all. 'Twas Hildegard who showed me how to hitch the horse and milk a cow, and cook the best of suppers. With Beatrix upon the sands I sprinted daily, and was bet with Henry stumped me to the fat of walking round upon my hands instead of on my uppers. The Hawthorne Children liked me best of evenings after tea, for when, by general request, I spun them yarns about the West, and all involving me. I represented how I'd slain the beason on the gore-smeared plain, and diverse tales of wonder I told of how I'd fought and bled in Injun scrimmages galore, till Miss Hawthorne quoth, "No more," and packed her darlings off to bed to dream of blood and thunder. They must have changed a deal since then, the Misses Tall and Fair, and those 3 lusty, handsome men. Would they be girls and boys again, were I to happen there, down in that spot beside the sea, where we made such tumultuous glee in dull autumnal weather? Ah me, the years go swiftly by, and yet how fondly I recall the week when we were children all. Dear Hawthorne Children, you and I, just 8 of us together. Little Blue Pigeon by Eugene Field. Sleep, little pigeon, and fold your wings, little blue pigeon with velvet eyes. Sleep to the singing of mother birds swinging, swinging the nest where her little one lies. Away out yonder I see a star, silvery star with a tinkling song. To the soft dew failing I hear it calling, calling and tinkling the night along. In through the window a moonbeam comes, little gold moonbeam with misty wings. all silently creeping, it asks, "Is he sleeping, sleeping and dreaming while mother sings?" Up from the sea there floats the sob of the waves that are breaking upon the shore, as though they were groaning in anguish and moaning, bemoaning the ship that shall come no more. But sleep, little pigeon, and fold your wings, little blue pigeon with mournful eyes. Am I not singing? See, I am swinging, swinging the nest where my darling lies. The Little Boy by Eugene Field. Some time there been a little boy that would not run and play, and helpless like that little tyke been always in the way. Go make you merry with the rest, his very mother cried, but with a frown they catched her gown and hung until her side. That boy did love his mother well, which spake him fairer, I ween. He loved to stand and hold her hand, and ken her with his een. His cosset bleated in the croft, his toys unheeded lay. He would not go, but tearing sae, and always in the way. God loveth children, and doeth guard his throne with such as these, and he doeth smile in pleasance while they cluster at his knees. And sometime when he looked on earth and watched the bairns at play, he kenned with joy a little boy when always in the way. And when a mother felt her heart, how that is been to torn, she kissed each day till she ben grey, the shoon he used to worn. No bairn let howl until her gown, nor played upon the floor. Goddess was the joy, a little boy ben in the way no more. Teeny Weeny by Eugene Field. Every evening after tea, Teeny Weeny comes to me, and astride my willing knee plies his lash and rides away. Though that palfrey all too spare finds his burden hard to bear. Teeny Weeny doesn't care, he commands and I obey. First it's trot and gallop, then now it's back to trot again. Teeny Weeny likes it when he is riding fierce and fast, when his dark eyes brighter grow and his cheeks are all aglow. More he cries and never war, till the horse breaks down at last. Oh, the strange and lovely sights Teeny Weeny sees of nights, as he makes those famous flights on that wondrous horse of his. Oftentimes, before he knows, very like his eyelids close, and still smiling, off he goes, where the land of Balow is. Where he sees the folk of Fay hard at ring-a-rosy play, and he hears those fairies say, "Come, let's chase him to and fro." But with a defiant shout, Teeny puts that host to the road. Of this tale I make no doubt. Every night he tells it so. So I feel a tender pride in my boy who dares to ride that fierce horse of his astride off into those misty lands. And as on my breast he lies, dreaming in that wondrous wise, I caress his folded eyes, pet his little dimpled hands. On a time he went away, just a little while to stay, and I'm not ashamed to say I was very lonely then. Life without him was so sad. You can fancy I was glad and made merry when I had Teeny Weeny back again. So of evenings after tea, when he toddles up to me and goes tugging at my knee, you should hear his palfrey neigh. You should see him prance and shy, when with an exulting cry, teeny weeny, vaulting high, please his lash and rides away. Nellie by Eugene Field. His listening soul hears no echo of battle, no pan of triumph, nor welcome of fame. But down through the years comes a little one's prattle, and softly he murmurs her idolized name. And it seems as if now at his heart she were clinging, as she clung in those dear, distant years to his knee. He sees her fair face, and he hears her sweet singing, and Nellie is coming from over the sea. While each patriot's hope stays the fullness of sorrow, while our eyes are bedimmed and our voices are low, he dreams of the daughter who comes with the morrow, like an angel come back from the dear long ago. What to him now is a nation's emotion, and what for our love or our grief careth he? A swift speeding ship is a sail on the ocean, and Nellie is coming from over the sea. O daughter, my daughter, when death stands before me and beacons me off to that far misty shore, let me see your loved form bending tenderly o'er me, and feel your dear kiss on my lips as of yore. In the grace of our love, on my English abating, I'll bear myself bravely and proudly as he, and now the sweet peace that hallowed his waiting, when Nellie was coining from over the sea. Norse Lullaby by Eugene Field. The sky is dark and the hills are white, as the Storm King speeds from the north tonight. And this is the song the Storm King sings, as over the world his cloak he flings. Sleep, sleep, little one, sleep. He rustles his wings and gruffly sings, sleep, little one, sleep. On yonder mountain side a vine clings at the foot of a mother pine. The tree bends over the trembling thing, and only the vine can hear her sing. Sleep, sleep, little one, sleep. What should you fear when I am here? Sleep, little one, sleep. The king may sing in his bitter flight, the tree may croon to the vine tonight, but the little snowflake at my breast liketh the song I sing the best. Sleep, sleep, little one, sleep. Very thou art, next my heart, sleep, little one, sleep. The Sugar Plum Tree by Eugene Field. Have you ever heard of the sugar plum tree? 'Tis a marvel of great renown. It blooms on the shore of the Lollipop Sea, in the garden of Shut-Eye Town. The fruit that it bears is so wondrously sweet, as those who have tasted it say, that good little children have only to eat of that fruit to be happy next day. When you've got to the tree, you would have a hard time to capture the fruit which I sing. The tree is so tall that no person could climb to the boughs where the sugar plums swing. But up in that tree sits a chocolate cat, and a gingerbread dog prowls below, and this is the way you contrive to get at those sugar plums tempting you so. You say but the word to that gingerbread dog, and he barks with such terrible zest that the chocolate cat is at once all agog, as her swelling proportions attest. And the chocolate cat goes cavorting around from this leafy limb unto that, and the sugar plums tumble, of course, to the ground. Hurrah for that chocolate cat! There are marshmallows, gumdrops, and peppermint cans with stripings of scarlet or gold, and you carry away of the treasure that rains as much as your apron can hold. So come, little children, cuddle closer to me in your dainty white nightcap and gown, and I will rock you away to that sugar plum tree in the garden of Shut-Eye Town. Grandma's Prayer by Eugene Field. I pray that, risen from the dead, I may in glory stand, a crown perhaps upon my head, but a needle in my hand. I've never learned to sing or play, so let no harp be mine. From birth unto my dying day, plain swings been my line. Wherefore, accustomed to the end, to plying useful stitches, I'll be content if asked to mend the little angel's breeches. Some Time by Eugene Field. Last night, my darling, as you slept, I thought I heard you sigh, and to your little crib I crept, and watched a space thereby. Then, bending down, I kissed your brow, for how I love you so. You are too young to know it now, but sometime you shall know. Sometime, when in a darkened place where others come to weep, your eyes shall see a weary face, calm in eternal sleep. The speechless lips, the wrinkled brow, the patient smile may show. You are too young to know it now, but sometime you shall know. Look backward then into the years, and see me here tonight. See, oh my darling, how my tears are falling as I write, and feel once more upon your brow the kiss of long ago. You are too young to know it now, but sometime you shall know. The Fire Hangbird's Nest by Eugene Field. As I am sitting in the sun upon the porch today, I look with wonder at the elm that stands across the way. I say and mean with wonder, for now it seems to me that elm is not as tall as years ago it used to be. The old fire hangbirds built her nest therein for many springs. High up amid the sportive winds the curious cradle swings, but not so high as when a little boy I did my best to scale that elm and carry off the old fire hangbird's nest. The Hubbard boys have tried in vain to reach the homely prize that dangled from that outer twig in taunting wise. And once when Deacon Turner's boy had almost grasped the limb, he fell, and had to have a doctor operate on him. Philetus Baker broke his leg, and Auden rued his arm. But what of that? The danger gave the sport a special charm. The Bixby and the Cutler boys, the Newtons and the rest, ran every risk to carry off the old fire hangbird's nest. I can remember that I used to knee my trousers through, that Mother used to wonder how my legs got black and blue, and how she used to talk to me and make stern threats when she discovered that my hobby was the nest in yonder tree. How, as she patched my trousers or greased my purple legs, she told me 'twould be wicked to destroy a hangbird's eggs, and then she'd call on Father and on Grandpa to attest that they, as boys, had never robbed an old fire hangbird's nest. Yet all those years I coveted the trophy, flaunting there, while, as it were in mockery of my abject despair, the old fire hangbird confidently used to come and go, as if she were indifferent to the bandit horde below. And sometimes, clinging to her nest, we thought we heard her chide, the killer brood whose cries betrayed the fear that reigned inside. Hush, little dears, all profitless shall be their wicked quest. I knew my business when I built the old fire hangbird's nest. For many, very many years that Mother Bird has come to rear her pretty little brood within that cozy home. She is the selfsame bird of old. I'm certain it is she, although the chances are that she has quite forgotten me. Just as of old that prudent, crafty bird of compound name, and in parenthesis I'd say her nest is still the same. Just as of old the passion, too, that fires the youthful breast to climb unto and comprehend the old fire hangbird's nest. I like to see my old-time friend swing in that ancient tree, and if the elm's as tall and sturdy as it used to be, I'm sure that many a year that nest shall in the breezes blow, for boys aren't what they used to be 40 years ago. The elm looks shorter than it did when Brother Ruth and I beheld with envious hearts the trophy flaunted from on high. He writes that in the city where he's living way out west, his little boys have never seen an old fire hangbird's nest. Poor little chaps, how lonesome like their city life must be. I wish you'd come and live a while in this old house with me. They'd have the honest friends and helpful sports I used to know when Brother Ruth and I were boys 40 years ago. So when they grew from romping lads to busy, useful men, they could recall with proper pride their country life again. And of those recollections of their youth, I'm sure the best would be of how they sought in vain the old fire hangbird's nest. Buttercup, Popeye, Forget-Me-Not by Eugene Field. Buttercup, Popeye, Forget-Me-Not. These three bloomed in a garden spot, and once, all merry with song and play, a little one heard three voices say, "Shine and shadow, summer and spring, O thou child with the tangled hair and laughing eyes, we three shall bring each an offering passing fair." The little one did not understand, but they bent and kissed the dimpled hand. Buttercup gambolled all day long, sharing the little one's mirth and song. Then, stealing along on misty gleams, Popeye came bearing the sweetest dreams, playing and dreaming, and that was all, till once the sleeper would not awake. Kissing the little face under the pole, we thought of the birds the third flower spake, and we found betimes in a hallowed spot the solace and peace of forget-me-not. Buttercup shareth the joy of day, glinting with gold the hours of play. Bringeth the poppy sweet repose, when the hands would fold and the eyes would close. And after it all, the play and the sleep of a little life, what cometh then? To the hearts that ache and the eyes that weep, a new flower bringeth God's peace again. Each one serveth its tender lot, Buttercup, Poppy, forget-me-not. Gold and Love for Dearie by Eugene Field. Out on the mountain over the town, all night long, the trolls go up and the trolls go down, bearing their packs and singing a song. And this is the song the hill folk croon, as they trudge in the light of the misty moon. This is ever their dolorous tune, gold, gold, ever more gold, the red gold for Dearie. Deep in the hill a farmer delves, all night long, none but the peering, furtive elves sees his toil and hears his song. Merrily ever the cavern rings, as merrily ever his pick he swings, and merrily ever this song he sings, gold, gold, ever more gold, bright red gold for Dearie. Mother is rocking thy lowly bed, all night long, happy to smooth thy curly head, to hold thy hand, and to sing her song. 'Tis not of the hill folk, dwarfed and old, nor the song of thy father, stanch and bold, and the burthen beareth is not of gold, but it's love, love, nothing but love, mother's love for Dearie. The Peace of Christmas Time by Eugene Field. Dearest, how hard it is to say that all is for the best, since sometimes in a grievous way God's will is manifest. See with what hearty, noisy glee our little ones tonight dance round and round our Christmas tree, with pretty toys bedight. Dearest, one voice they may not hear, one face they may not see. Ah, what of all this Christmas cheer cometh to you and me? Cometh before our misty eyes that our little face, and we clasp in tender reverent wise that laugh in the olden race. Dearest, the Christ child walks tonight, bringing his peace to man, and he bringeth to you and to me the light of the old years again. Bringeth the peace of long ago, when a wee one clasp your knee and lisp of the marrow, dear one, you know, and here come back is he. Dearest, 'tis sometimes hard to say that all is for the best, for often in a grievous way God's will is manifest. But in the grace of this holy night that bringeth us back our child, let us see that the ways of God are right, and so be reconciled. To a Little Brook by Eugene Field. You're not so big as you were then, oh little brook. I mean those hazy summers when we boys roamed full of awe beside your noisy, foaming, tumbling tide, and wondered if it could be true that there were bigger brooks than you, O mighty brook, O peerless brook. All up and down this reedy place there lives the brook, be angled for the furtive days. The red-winged blackbird did his best to make us think he'd built his nest hard by the stream, when, like as not, he'd hung it in a secret spot far from the brook, the telltale brook. And often, when the noontime heat parboiled the brook, we'd draw our boats and swing our feet upon the waves that, in their play, would tack us last and scoot away. And Mother seemed to know never what burned our legs and chapped them so. But Father guessed it was the brook. And Fido, how he loved to swim the cooling brook, whenever we'd throw sticks for him, and how we boys did wish that we could only swim as good as he. Why Daniel Webster never was recipient of such great applause as Fido battling with the brook. But once, our most unhappy day, for you, my brook, came cousin Sam along that way. And having lived a spell out west, where creeks aren't counted much at best, he neither waded, swam, nor leapt, but with superb indifference stepped across that brook, our mighty brook. Why do you scamper on your way, you little brook, when I come back to you today? Is it because you flee the grass that lunges at you as you pass? As if in playful mood it would tickle the truant if it could? You chuckling brook, you saucy brook? Or is it you no longer now, you fickle brook, the honest friend of long ago? The years that kept us twain apart have changed my face, but not my heart. Many and sore those years, and yet I fancied you could not forget that happy time, my playmate brook. Oh, sing again in artless glee, my little brook, the song you used to sing for me, the song that's lingered in my ears so soothingly these many years. My grief shall be forgotten when I hear your tranquil voice again, and that sweet song, dear little brook. Croodlin Doo by Eugene Field. Oh, pretty bee, did you see my Croodlin Doo? Oh, little lamb, is she jinking on the lea? Oh, bonny fairy, bring my dearie back to me. Got a lump o' sugar and a posy for you. Only bring me back my wee, wee Croodlin Doo. Why, here you are, my little Croodlin Doo. Looked in a cradle, but didn't find you there. Looked for my wee, wee Croodlin Doo everywhere. Been kind lonesome all a day without you. Where you been, my teeny wee, wee Croodlin Doo? Now you go, Balow, my little Croodlin Doo. Now you go rockabye ever so far. Rockabye, rockabye up to the star. That's winking and blinking and singing to you as you go below, my wee, wee Croodlin Doo. Little Mistress sans Merci by Eugene Field. Little Mistress sans Merci fareth worldwide fancy-free, troffeth cooing to and fro, and her cooing is command. Never ruled there yet, I trow, mightier despot in the land. And my heart it lieth where Mistress sans Merci doeth fare. Little Mistress sans Merci, she hath made a slave of me. Go, she biddeth, and I go. Come, and I am fain to come. Never mercy doth she show, be she rough or frolicsome, yet am I content to be slave to Mistress sans Merci. Little Mistress sans Merci hath become so dear to me, that I count as passing sweet all the pain her moods impart, and I bless the little feet that go trampling on my heart. Ah, how lonely life would be but for little sans Merci. Little Mistress sans Merci cuddle close this night to me, and the heart which all day long ruthless thou hast trod upon shall outpour a soothing song for its best beloved one, all its tenderness for thee, little Mistress sans Merci. Long ago by Eugene Field. I once knew all the birds that came and nested in our orchard trees. For every flower I had a name. My friends were woodchucks, toads, and bees, and I knew where thrived in yonder glen what plants would soothe a stone-bruised toe. Oh, I was very learned then, but that was very long ago. I knew the spot upon the hill where checkerberries could be found. I knew the rushes near the mill where pickerel lay that weighed a pound. I knew the wood, the very tree where lived the pouching saucy crow, and all the woods and crows knew me, but that was very long ago. And pining for the joys of youth, I tread the old familiar spot, only to learn this solemn truth: I have forgotten, am forgot. Yet here's this youngster at my knee, knows all the things I used to know. To think I once was wise as he, but that was very long ago. I know it's folly to complain of whatsoe'er the fates decree, yet were not wishes all in vain. I tell you what my wish would be. I'd wish to be a boy again, back with the friends I used to know, for I was, oh, so happy then, but that was very long ago. In the Firelight by Eugene Field. The fire upon the hearth is low, and there is stillness everywhere, and like winged spirits, here and there, the firelight shadows fluttering go, and as the shadows round me creep, a childish treble breaks the gloom, and softly from a further room comes, "Now I lay me down to sleep." And somehow, with that little prayer, and that sweet treble in my ears, my thought goes back to distant years, and linger with a dear one there. And as I heard my child's amen, my mother's faith comes back to me. Crouched at her side I seem to be, and mother holds my hands again. Oh, for an hour in that dear place, oh, for the peace of that dear time, oh, for that childish trust sublime, oh, for a glimpse of mother's face. Yet as the shadows around me creep, I do not seem to be alone. Sweet magic of that treble tone, and now I lay me down to sleep. Cobbler and Stork by Eugene Field. Cobbler. Stork, I am justly wroth, for thou hast wronged me sore. The ash roof tree that shelters thee shall shelter thee no more. Stork. Full 50 years I've dwelt upon this honest tree, and long ago, as people know, I brought thy father thee. What hail hath chilled thy heart that thou shouldst bid me go? Speak out, I pray, when I'll away, since thou commandest so. Cobbler. What tellest of the time then, wheeling from the west, this hut thou sought'st, and one thou brought'st, unto a mother's breast. I was the wretched child, was fetched that dismal morn, to better die than be, as I, to live of misery born. And hadst thou borne me on, still farther up the town, a king I'd be of high degree, and wear a golden crown. For yonder lives the prince was brought that self-same day. How happy he, while, look at me, I toil my life away, and see my little boy, to what estate he's born. Why, when I die now, hard leave I, but poverty and scorn, and thou hast done it all. I might have been a king, and ruled the state, but for thy hate, thou base, perfidious thing. Stork. Since, cobbler, thou dost speak of one thou lovest well, he of that king what grievous thing this very morn befell. Whilst round thy homely bench, thy well-beloved plate, in yonder hall beneath a pall a little one was laid. My well-beloved face was rosy with delight, but neath that pale in yonder hall the little face is white. Whilst by a merry voice my soul is filled with cheer, and ever weeps for one that sleeps, all mute and cold anear. One father hath his hope, and one is childless now. He wears a crown and rules a town, only a cobbler thou. Wouldst thou exchange thy lot at price of such a woe? I'll nest no more above thy door, but as thou bidst me go. Cobbler. Ay, Stork, thou shalt remain, I mean not what I say. Good neighbours we must always be, so make thy home our head. I would not change my bench for any monarch's throne, nor sacrifice at any price my darling and my own. Stork, on my roof tree bite, that seeing thee anear, I'll thankful be God sent by thee, me and my darling here. Lizzie and the Baby by Eugene Field. I wonder if all women are like Lizzie is when we go out to theatres and concerts where is things the papers talk about. Do other women fret and stew like they was being crucified, threaten a show or concert through with wondering if the baby cried? Now Lizzie knows that grandma's there to see that everything is right. Yet Lizzie thinks that grandma's care ain't good enough for baby quite. Yet what am I to answer when she kind with fidgets at my side and asks me every now and then? I wonder if the baby cried. Seems like she seen two little eyes, a pining for their mother's smile. Seems like she hearn the pleading cries of one she thinks of all the while. And so she's sorry that she come, and though she always tries to hide the truth, she'd rather stay to him than wonder if the baby cried. Yes, women folks is all alike by Lizzie, you can judge the rest. There never was a little tyke but that his mother loved him best. And next to being what I be, the husband of my gentle bride, I'd wished I was with Croodlin Doo with Lizzie wondering if I cried. At the Door by Eugene Field. I thought myself indeed secure, so fast the door, so firm the lock. But lo, he toddling comes to lure my parent ear with tomorrow's knock. My heart of stone, could it withstand the sweetness of my baby's plea, with tomorrow's baby knocking and please let me in, it's only me. I threw aside the unfinished book, regardless of its tempting charms, and opening wide the door, I took my laughing darling in my arms. Who knows but in eternity I, like a truant child, shall wait the glories of a life to be, beyond the Heavenly Father's gate? And will that Heavenly Father heed the truant's supplicating cry, as at the outer door I plead, "'Tis I, our Father, only I"? Wynken, Blynken and Nod by Eugene Field. Wynken, Blynken and Nod one night sailed off in a wooden shoe, sailed on a river of crystal light into a sea of dew. "Where are you going, and what do you wish?" the old moon asked the three. "We have come to fish for the herring fish that live in this beautiful sea. Nets of silver and gold have we," said Wynken, Blynken and Nod. The old moon laughed and sang a song as they rocked in the wooden shoe, and the wind that sped them all night long ruffled the waves of dew. The little stars were the herring fish that lived in that beautiful sea. "Now cast your nets wherever you wish, never afraid are we," so cried the stars to the fishermen three, Wynken, Blynken and Nod. All night long their nets they threw to the stars in the twinkling foam. Then down from the skies came the wooden shoe, bringing the fishermen home. 'Twas all so pretty a sail it seemed as if it could not be, and some folks thought 'twas a dream. They dreamed of sailing that beautiful sea. But I shall name you the fishermen three, Wynken, Blynken and Nod. Wynken and Blynken are two little eyes, and Nod is a little head. And the wooden shoe that sailed the skies is a wee one's trundle bed. So shut your eyes while mother sings of wonderful sights that be, and you should see the beautiful things as you rock in the misty sea, where the old shoe rocked the fishermen three, Wynken, Blynken and Nod. I Spy by Eugene Field. Strange that the city thoroughfare, noisy and bustling all the day, should with the night renounce its care and lend itself to children's play. Oh, girls are girls and boys are boys, and have been so since Abel's birth, and shall be so till dolls and toys are with the children swept from earth. The selfsame sport that crowns the day of many a Syrian shepherd's son beguiles the little lads at play by night in stately Balow. I hear their voices in the street, yet 'tis so different now from then. Come, brother, from your winding sheet, and let us two be boys again. Little Boy Blue by Eugene Field. The little toy dog is covered with dust, but sturdy and staunch he stands. And the little toy soldier is red with rust, and his musket molds in his hands. Time was when the little toy dog was new, and the soldier was passing fair. And that was the time when our little boy Blue kissed them and put them there. "No, don't you go till I come," he said, "and don't you make any noise." So toddling off to his trundle bed, he dreamed of the pretty toys. And as he was dreaming, an angel's song awakened our little boy Blue. Oh, the years are many, the years are long, but the little toy friends are true. I, faithful to little boy Blue, they stand, each in the same old place, awaiting the touch of a little hand, the smile of a little face. And they wonder, as waiting the long years through in the dust of that little chair, what has become of our little boy Blue, since he kissed them and put them there. Father's Letter by Eugene Field. I'm going to write a letter to our oldest boy who went out west last spring to practice law and run for president. I'll tell him all the gossip I guess he'd like to hear, for he hasn't seen the home folks for going on a year. Most generally it's Merci does the writing, but as she is suffering with a felon, why, the job devolves on me. So, when the supper things are done and put away tonight, I'll throw my boots and shed my coat and settle down to write. I'll tell him crops are looking up, the prospects big for corn, that fooling with the barnyard gate the off-ox heard his horn, that the Templar Lodge is doing well. Tim Bennett joined last week when the Prohibition candidate for Congress came to speak. That the old grey woodchucks living still down in the pasture lot, wondering what's become of little William, like as not. Oh yes, there's lots of pleasant things and no bad news to tell, except that old Bill Graves was sick, but now he's up and well. Cy Cooper says, but I not pass my word that it is so. For Cy, he is some pumpkins on spinning yarns, you know. He says that since the freshet, the pickerel are so thick, in Baker's Pond you can wade in and kill 'em with a stick. The Hubbard girls are teaching school, and Widow Cutler's Bill has taken Eli Baxter's place in Luther Eastman's mill. Old Deacon Skinner's dog licked Deacon Howard's dog last week, and now there are 2 lambkins in one flock that will not speak. The yellow rooster throws his feet wading through the snow, and now he leans against the fence when he starts in to crow. The chestnut cold that was so skittish when he went away, I've broke him to the sulky and I drive him every day. We've got pink window curtains for the front spare room upstairs, and Lizzie made new covers for the parlor lounge and chairs. We've roofed the barn and raised the elm that has the hangbird's nest. Oh, there's been lots of changes since old William went out west. Old Uncle Enos Packard is getting mighty gay. He gave Miss Susan Belchard a peach the other day. His late lamented Sarah hain't been buried quite a year, so his purring around Miss Susan causes criticism here. At the last donation party, the minister opined that if he'd half suspicioned what was coming, he'd resigned. For though they brought him slippers like he was a centipede, his pantry was depleted by the consequential feat. These are the things I'll write him, our boy that's in the West, and I'll tell him how we miss him, his mother and the rest. Why we never have an apple pie that mother doesn't say. He liked it so I wish that he could have a piece today. I'll tell him we are prospering and hope he is the same, that we hope he'll have no trouble getting on to wealth and fame. And just before I write goodbye from father and the rest, I'll say that mother sends her love, and that will please him best. For when I went away from home, the weekly news I heard was nothing to the tenderness I found in that one word, the sacred name of mother. Why, even now as when the thought brings back the saintly face, the gracious laugh again, and in my bosom seems to come a peace that is divine, as if an angel spirit communed a while with mine, and one man's heart is strengthened by the message from both, and earth seems nearer heaven when Mother sends her love. Jewish Lullaby by Eugene Field. My harp is on the willow tree, as would I sing, O love, to thee, the song of long ago. Perchance the song that Miriam sung, ere yet Judea's heart was wrung by centuries of woe. I ate my crust in tears today, as scourged I went upon my way, and yet my darling smiled. By beating at my breast he laughed. My anguish curdled not the throat, 'twas sweet with love, my child. The shadow of the centuries lies deep in thy dark and mournful eyes. But hush, and close them now, and in the dreams that thou shalt dream, the light of other days shall seem to glorify thy brow. Our harp is on the willow tree, I have no song to sing to thee, as shadows round us roll. But hush and sleep, and thou shalt hear Jehovah's voice that speaks to cheer Judea's fainting soul. Our Whippings by Eugene Field. Come, Harvey, let us sit a while and talk about the times before you went to selling clothes and I to peddling rhymes. The days when we were little boys, as naughty little boys as ever worried home folks with their everlasting noise. We got, and were we so disposed, I venture we could show the scars of wallopings we got some 40 years ago. What wallopings I mean, I think I need not specify. Mother's whippings didn't hurt, but father's, oh my. The way that we played hookey those many years ago, we'd rather give most anything than have our children now. 1,000 naughty things we did, 1,000 fibs we told, why thinking of them makes my Presbyterian blood run cold. How often Deacon Seven Morris remarked if we were his, he'd hand our pesky little hits until the blisters ritz. It's many a hearty thrashing to that Deacon Morris we owe. Mother's whippings didn't count, but father's did. Wow. We used to sneak off swimming in those careless boyish days and come back home of evenings with our necks and backs ablaze. Our mother used to wonder why our clothes were full of sand, but father, having been a boy, appeared to understand. And after tea, he'd beckon us to join him in the shed, where he'd proceed to tinge our backs a deeper, darker red. Say what we will of mothers, there's none will controvert the proposition that our father's lickings always hurt. For mother was by nature so forgiving and so mild that she inclined to spare the rod although she spoiled the child. And when at last in self-defense she had to whip us, she appeared to feel those whippings a great deal more than we. But how we bellowed and took on as if we'd like to die. Poor mother really thought she heard, and that's what made her cry. Then how we youngsters snickered as out the door we slid, for mother's whippings never hurt, for father's always did. In after years poor father simmered down to 5'4", but in our youth he seemed to us an height 8 feet or more. Oh, how we shivered when he quaffed in cold, suggestive tone, "I'll see you in the woodshed after supper all alone." Oh, how the legs and arms and dust and trouser buttons flew, what florid vocalisms marked that whisper interview. Yes, after all this lapse of years, I feelingly assert, with all respect to mother, it was father's whippings heard. The little boy experiencing that tingling neath his vest is often loath to realize that all is for the best. Yet when the boy gets older, he pictures with delight the bufferings of childhood as we do here tonight. The years, the gracious years, have smoothed and beautified the ways that to our little feet seemed all too rugged in the days, before you went to selling clothes and I to peddling rhymes. So, Harvey, let us sit a while and think upon those times. The Armenian Mother by Eugene Field. I was a mother, and I weep. The night is come, the day is sped, the night of woe profound, for, oh, my little golden son is dead. The pretty rose that bloomed anon upon my mother breast they stole. They let the dove I nursed with love fly far away, so sped my soul. But falcon death swooped down upon my sweet-voiced turtle as he sung. 'Tis hushed and dark, there soared the lark, and so my heart was wrung. Before my eyes they sent the hail upon my green pomegranate tree, upon the bough where only now a rosy apple bent to me. They shook my beauteous almond tree, beating its glorious bloom to death. They strewed it round upon the ground and mocked its fragrant, dying breath. I was a mother, and I weep. I seek the rose where nestleth none. No more is heard the singing bird. I have no little golden son. So fall the shadows over me, the blighted garden, lonely nest. Reach down in love, O God above, and fold my darling to thy breast. Heigho, my dearie, by Eugene Field. A moonbeam floateth from the skies, whispering, Heigho, my dearie, I would spin a web before your eyes, a beautiful web of silver light, wherein is many a wondrous sight of a radiant garden leagues away, where the softly tinkling lilies sway, and the snow-white lambkins are at play. Heigho, my dearie. A brownie stealeth from the wine, singing, Heigho, my dearie, and will you hear this song of mine, a song of the land of murk and mist, where bideth the bud the dew half kissed? Then let the moonbeam's web of light be spun before thee silvery white, and I shall sing the lifelong night, Heigho, my dearie. The night wind speedeth from the sea, murmuring, Heigho, my dearie, I bring a marina's prayer for thee. So let the moonbeam veil thine eyes, and the brownie sing thee lullabies, but I shall rock thee to and fro, kissing the brow he loveth so, and the prayer shall guard my bed, I trow, Heigho, my dearie. To a Usurper by Eugene Field. Aha, a traitor in the camp, a rebel strangely bold, a lisping, laughing, toddling scamp, not more than 4 years old. To think that I, who've ruled alone so proudly in the past, should be ejected from my throne by my own son at last. He trots his treason to and fro as only babies can, and says he'll be his mamma's bird when he's a great big man. You stingy boy, you've always had a share in mamma's heart. Would you begrudge your poor old dad the tiniest little part? That mamma, I regret to see, inclines to take your part, as if a dual monarchy should rule her gentle heart. But when the years of youth have sped, the bearded man, I trow, will quite forget he ever said he'd be his mamma's bird. Renounce your treason, little son, leave mamma's heart to me, for there will come another one to claim your loyalty. And when that other comes to you, God grant her love may shine through all your life as fair and true as mamma's does through mine. The Bellflower Tree by Eugene Field. When brother Bill and I were boys, how often in the summer we would seek the shade your branches made, O fair and gracious bellflower tree. Amid the clover bloom we sat and looked upon the holyoke range while Fido lay a space away, thinking our silence very strange. The woodchuck in the pasture lot, beside his furtive howl elate, heard, off beyond the pickerel pond, the red-winged blackbird chide her mate. The bumblebee went bustling around, pursuing labours never done. With drown and sting, the greedy thing, we grudged the sweets we lay upon. Our eyes looked always at the hills, the holly-oak hills that seemed to stand between us boys and pictured joys of conquest in a further land. Ah, how we coveted the time when we should leave this drowsy place and work our wills beyond those hills and meet creation face to face. You must have heard our childish talk. Perhaps our prattle gave you pain, for when, old friend, you seemed to bend your kindly arms about us twain. It might have been the wind that sighed, and yet I thought I heard you say, "Seek not the ills beyond those hills. Oh, stay with me, my children, stay." See, I've come back. The boy you knew is wiser, older, sadder grown. Oh, come once more, just as of yore. I come, but see, I come alone. The memory of a brother's love, of blighted hopes, I bring with me, and here I lay my heart today, a very heart, a bellflower tree. So let me nestle in your shade, as though I were a boy again, and pray extend your arms, old friend, and love me as you used to then. Sing softly as you used to sing, and maybe I shall seem to be a little boy and feel the joy of white repose, O bellflower tree. Fairy and Child by Eugene Field. Oh, listen, little dear my soul, to the fairy voices calling, for the moon is high in the misty sky, and the honey-dew is falling. To the midnight feast in the clover bloom, the bluebells are ringing, and it's "Come away to the land of Fay" that the katydid is singing. Oh, slumber, little dear my soul, and hand in hand we'll wander, hand in hand to the beautiful land of Balow, away off yonder. Or we'll sail along in a lily leaf into the white moon's halloo, over a stream of mist and dream into the land of Balow. Or you shall have two beautiful wings, two gossamer wings and airy, and all the while shall the old moon smile and think you a little fairy, and you shall dance in the velvet sky, and the silver stars shall twinkle, and dream sweet dreams as over their beams your footfalls softly tinkle. The Grandsire by Eugene Field. I loved him so, his voice had grown into my heart, and now to hear the pretty song he had sung so long die on the lips to me so dear. He, a child with golden curls, and I, with head as white as snow, I knelt down there and made this prayer, God, let me be the first to go. How often I recall it now, my darling tossing on his bed, I sitting there in mute despair, smoothing the curls that crowned his head. They did not speak to me of death. A feeling here had taught me so. What could I say or do but pray that I might be the first to go? Yet, thinking of him standing there, out yonder as the years go by, waiting for me to come, I see 'twas better he should wait, not I. For when I walk the vale of death, above the wail of Jordan's flow, shall rise a song that shall make me strong, the call of the child that was first to go. Hushaby Sweet, my own, by Eugene Field. Fair is the castle up on the hill, Hushaby, sweet my own. The night is fair, and the waves are still, and the wind is singing to you and to me. In this lowly home beside the sea, Hushaby, sweet my own. On yonder hill is store of wealth, Hushaby, sweet my own. And the revellers drink to a little one's health. But you and I bide night and day, for the other love that has sailed away. Hushaby, sweet my own. See not, dear eyes, the forms that creep ghost-like on my own, out of the mists of the murmuring deep. Oh, see them not, and make no cry till the angels of death have passed us by. Hushaby, sweet my own. Ah, little they reck of you and me, Hushaby, sweet my own. In our lonely home beside the sea, they seek the castle up on the hill, and there they will do their ghostly will, Hushaby, oh my own. Here by the sea a mother croons, Hushaby, sweet my own. In yonder castle a mother swoons, while the angels go down to the misty deep, bearing a little one fast asleep, Hushaby, sweet my own. Child and Mother by Eugene Field. Oh, mother my love, if you'll give me your hand and go where I ask you to wander, I will lead you away to a beautiful land, the dreamland that's waiting out yonder. We'll walk in a sweet poesy garden out there, where moonlight and starlight are streaming, and the flowers and the birds are filling the air with the fragrance and music of dreaming. There'll be no little tired-out boy to undress, no questions or cares to perplex you. There'll be no little bruises or bumps to caress, nor patching of stockings to vex you. For I'll rock you away on a silver dew stream, and sing you asleep when you're weary, and no one shall know of our beautiful dream but you and your own little dearie. And when I am tired, I'll nestle my head in the bosom that's soothed me so often, and the wide-awake stars shall sing in my stead a song which our dreaming shall soften. So, mother my love, let me take your dear hand, and away through the starlight we'll wander, away through the mist to the beautiful land, the dreamland that's waiting out yonder. Medieval Eventide Song by Eugene Field. Come hither, little child, and lie upon my breast tonight, for yonder fares an angel, clad in raiment white, and yonder sings, ye angel, as only angels may, and his song then of a garden that bloometh far away. To them that have no little child, God sometimes sendeth down a little child that ben a little angel of his own. And if so be they love the child, he willeth it to stay, but elsewise in his mercy he taketh it away. And sometimes, though they love it, God yearneth for his child, and sendeth angels singing, whereby it ben beguiled. They fold their arms about ye lamb that croodleth at his play, and bear him to ye garden that bloometh far away. I would not lose ye little lamb that God hath lent to me. If I could sing that angel song, how joy should be. For with mine arms about him, and my music in his ear, what angel song of paradise soever should I fear. So come, my little child, and he upon my breast tonight, For yonder fares an angel, clad in raiment white, and yonder sings that angel as only angels may, and his song ben of a garden that bloometh far away. The Little Peach by Eugene Field. A little peach in the orchard grew, a little peach of emerald hue, warmed by the sun and wet by the dew it grew. One day, passing that orchard through, that little peach dawned on the view of Johnny Jones and his sister Sue, them two. Up at that peach a club they threw, down from the stem on which it grew. Fell the peach of emerald hue, mon Dieu. John took a bite and Sue a chew, and then the trouble began to brew. Trouble the doctor couldn't subdue to true. Under the turf where the daisies grew, they planted John and his sister Sue, and their little souls to the angels flew. Boo-hoo. What of that peach of the emerald hue, warmed by the sun and wet by the dew? Oh, well, its mission on earth is through. Adieu. Armenian Lullaby by Eugene Field. If thou wilt shut thy drowsy eyes, my mulberry one, my golden sun, the rose shall sing thee lullabies, my pretty cosset lambkin, and thou shalt swing in an almond tree, with a flood of moonbeams rocking thee. A silver boat in a golden sea, my velvet love, my nestling dove, my own pomegranate blossom. The stork shall guard thee passing well all night, my sweet, my dimple feet, and bring thee myrrh and ashottle, my gentle rain of springtime. And for thy slumberous play shall twine the diamond star with an emerald vine, to trail in the waves of ruby wine, my myrtle bloom, my heart's perfume, my little chirping sparrow. And when the morn wakes up to see, lip bright, my soul's delight, the partridge shall come calling thee, my jar of milk and honey. Yes, thou shalt know what mystery lies in the amethyst deep of the curtained skies, if thou wilt fold thy onyx eyes, you wakeful one, you naughty son, you cooing little turtle. Christmas Treasures by Eugene Field. I count my treasures o'er with care, the little toy my darling knew, a little sock of faded hue, a little lock of golden hair. Long years ago with holy time, my little one, my all to me, sat robed in white upon my knee and heard the merry Christmas chime. Tell me, my little golden head, if Santa Claus should come tonight, what should he bring my baby bride? What treasure for my boy? I said. And when he named this little toy, while in his round and mournful eyes there came a look of sweet surprise that spake his quiet, trustful joy. And as he lisped his evening prayer, he asked the boon with childish grace. Then toddling to the chimney place, he hung his little stocking there. That night, while lengthening shadows crept, I saw the white-winged angels come, with singing to our lonely home, and kiss my darling as he slept. They must have heard his little prayer, for in the morn with rapturous face, he toddled to the chimney place, and found this little treasure there. They came again one Christmas tide, that angel host so fair and wide, and singing all that glorious night, they lured my darling from my side. A little sock, a little toy, a little lock of golden hair, the Christmas music on the air, watching for my baby boy. But if again that angel train and golden head come back for me, to bear me to eternity. My watching will not be in vain. Oh, Little Child, by Eugene Field. Hush, little one, and fold your hands. The sun hath set, the moon is high, the sea is singing to the sands, and wakeful poesies are beguiled by many a fairy lullaby. Hush, little child, my little child. Dream, little one, and in your dreams float upward from this lonely place, float out on mellow, misty streams, to lands where bideth Mary mild, and let her kiss thy little face, you little child, my little child. Sleep, little one, and take thy rest, with angels bending over thee. Sleep sweetly on that Father's breast, whom our dear Christ hath reconciled. But stay not there, come back to me, O little child, my little child. Genderfeather's Gift by Eugene Field. I was just a little thing when a fairy came and kissed me, floating in upon the light of a haunted summer night. Lo, the fairies came to sing pretty slumber songs and bring certain boons that else had missed me. From a dream I turned to see what those strangers brought to me. When that fairy up and kissed me, here upon this cheek he kissed me. Simmerdew was there, but she did not like me altogether. Daisy bright and turtledove, pilfercurds and honeylove, Fizzleblow and Emberglee on that gleaming, ghostly sea, floating from the misty heather, and around my trundle bed frisked and looked and whispering said, solemn-like and altogether, you shall kiss him, Genderfeather. Genderfeather kissed me then, Genderfeather quaint and merry. Now attenuate spirit was he, but as buxom as could be. Kissed me twice and once again, and the others shouted, when on my cheek uprose a berry somewhat like a mole, mayhap, but the kiss mark of that chap, Genderfeather, passing merry, humoursome, but kindly very. I was just a tiny thing when the prankish Genderfeather brought this curious gift to me, with his fairy kisses 3. Yet with honest pride I sing that same gift he chose to bring out of yonder haunted heather. Other charms and friendships fly, constant friends this mole and I, who have been so long together, thank you, little Genderfeather. Bambino by Eugene Field. Bambino in his cradle slept, and by his side his grandam grim bent down and smiled upon the child, and sung this lullaby to him with Nina and Anenia. When thou art older, thou shalt mind to traverse countries fair and wide, and thou shalt go where roses blow and balmy waters singing glide. So Nina and Anenia. And thou shalt wear, trimmed up in points, a famous jacket etched in red, and more than that, a peaked hat, all decked in gold, upon thy head, Nina and Anenia. Then shalt thou carry gun and knife, nor shall the soldiers bully thee. Perchance, beset by wrong or debt, a mighty bandit thou shalt be, so Nina and Anenia. No woman yet of our proud race lived to her 14th year unwed. The brazen churl that eyed a girl bought her the ring or paid his head, so Nina and Anenia. But once came spies, I know the thieves, and brought disaster to our race. God heard us when our 15 men were hanged within the marketplace, but Nina and Anania. Good men they were, my babe, and true, right worthy fellows all and strong. Live thou and be for them and me, avenger of that deadly wrong. So Nina and Anania. Little Homer's Slate by Eugene Field. After dear old grandma died, hunting through an oaken chest in the attic, we espied what repaid our childish quest. 'Twas a homely little slate, seemingly of ancient date. On its quaint and battered face was the picture of a card, drawn with all that awkward grace which betokens childish art. But what meant this legend, pray? Homer drew this yesterday. Mother recollected then what the years were fain to hide. She was but a baby when little Homer lived and died. 40 years, so mother said, little Homer had been dead. This one secret through those years grandma kept from all apart, hallowed by her lonely tears and the breaking of her heart, while each year that sped away seemed to her but yesterday. So the homely little slate grandma's baby's fingers pressed to a memory consecrate life in the oaken chest, where, unwilling we should know, grandma put it years ago. The Rockabye Lady by Eugene Field. The Rockabye Lady from Hushaby Street comes stealing, comes creeping. The poppies they hang from her head to her feet, and each half a dream that is tiny and fleet. She bringeth her poppies to you, my sweet, when she findeth you sleeping. There is one little dream of a beautiful drum, rub-a-dub it goeth. There is one little dream of a big sugar plum, and lo, thick and fast the other dreams come, of popguns that bang and tin tops that hum, and a trumpet that bloweth. And dollies peep out of those wee little dreams with laughter and singing, and boats go a-floating on silvery streams, and the stars peek-a-boo with their own misty gleams, and up, and up, where the mother moon beams, the fairies go winging. Would you dream all these dreams that are tiny and fleet? They'll come to you sleeping. So shut the two eyes that are very, my sweet, for the Rockabye Lady from Hushaby Street, with poppies that hang from her head to her feet, comes stealing, comes creeping. Garden and Cradle by Eugene Field. When our baby he goeth walking on his garden, around his tinkling feet the sunbeams play. The posies they are good to him, and bow them as they should to him, as fareth he upon his kingly way. And the birdlings of the wood to him make music, gentle music, all the day, when our babe he goeth walking in his garden. When our babe he goeth swinging in his cradle, then the night it looketh ever sweetly down. The little stars are kind to him, the moon she hath a mind to him, and layeth on his head a golden crown. And singeth then the wind to him a song, the gentle song of Bethlehem town, when our babe he goeth swinging in his cradle. The Night Wind by Eugene Field. Have you ever heard the wind go, you. 'Tis a pitiful sound to hear. It seems to chill you through and through with a strange and speechless fear. 'Tis the voice of the night that broods outside when folk should be asleep. And many's the time I've cried to the darkness brooding far and wide over the land and the deep. Whom do you want, O lonely night, that you wail the long hours through? And the night would say in its ghostly way, you, you, you. My mother told me long ago, when I was a little tad, that when the night went wailing so, somebody had been bad. And then, when I was snug in bed, whither I had been sent, with the blankets pulled up round my head, I'd think of what my mother said and wonder what boy she meant. And who's been bad today? I'd ask of the wind that hoarsely blew, and the voice would say in its meaningful way, you, you, you. That this was true, I must allow. You'll not believe it, though. Yes, though I'm quite a model now, I was not always so. And if you doubt what things I say, suppose you make the test. Suppose then you've been bad some day, and up to bed are sent away from mother and the rest. Suppose you ask, who has been bad? And then you'll hear what's true, for the wind will moan in its ruefulest tone, you, you, you. Kissing Time by Eugene Field. 'Tis when the lark goes soaring and the bee is at the bud, when lightly dancing sapphires sing over field and flood, when all sweet things in nature seem joyfully akeen, 'tis then I wake, my darling, for it is kissing time. Go, pretty lark a-soaring, and suck your sweets, O bee. Sing, O ye winds of summer, your songs to mine and me. For with your song and rapture cometh the moment when it's half past kissing time, and time to kiss again. So the days go fleeting like golden fancies free, and every day that cometh is full of sweets for me. And sweetest are those moments my darling comes to climb into my lap to mind me that it is kissing time. Sometimes, maybe, he wanders a heedless, aimless way. Sometimes, maybe, he loiters in pretty, prattling play. But presently bethinks him and hastens to me then, for it's half past kissing time, and time to kiss again. Just for a Christmas by Eugene Field. Father calls me William, sister calls me Will, mother calls me Willie, but the fellas call me Bill. Mighty glad I ain't a girl, rather be a boy, without them sashes, curls, and things that's worn by Fauntleroy. Love to chonk green apples and go swimming in the lake, hate to take the castor oil they give for bellyache. Most all the time, the whole year round, there ain't no flies on me, but just for the Christmas I'm as good as I can be. Got a yellow dog named Sport, sick him on the cat. First thing she knows, she doesn't know where she is at. Got a clipper sled, and when us kids goes out to slide, long comes the grocery cart, and we all hook a ride. But sometimes when the grocery man is worried and cross, he reaches at us with his whip and larrups up his horse. And when I laugh and holler, oh, ye never touched me. But just for the Christmas, I'm as good as I can be. Grandma says she hopes that when I get to be a man, I'll be a missionary like her oldest brother Dan. As was it up by the cannibals that lives in Ceylon's Isle, where every prospect pleases and only man is vile. But Grandma, she has never been to see a Wild West show, nor read the life of Daniel Bow. Or else I guess she'd know that Buffalo Bill and cowboys is good enough for me. Except just for the Christmas when I'm good as I can be. And when out sport he hangs around, so solemn like and still, his eyes they seem a-saying, "What's the matter, little Bill?" The old cat sneaks down off her perch and wonders what's become of them two enemies of hern that used to make wings hum. But I am so polite and tend so earnestly to Biss that mother says to father how improved our Billy is. But father, having been a boy himself, suspicions me when just for Christmas I'm as good as I can be. For Christmas, with its lots and lots of candies, cakes and toys, was made, they say, for proper kids and not for naughty boys. So wash your face and brush your hair and mind your and don't bust out your pantaloons and don't wear out your shoes. Say "Monsieur" to the ladies and "Usurper" to the men, and when there's company, don't pass your plate for pie again. But thinking of the things you'd like to see upon that tree, just for a Christmas be as good as ye can be. Bird and Baby by Eugene Field. I say, as one who never feared the wrath of a subscriber's bullet, I pity him who has a beard but has no little girl to pull it. When wife and I have finished tea, our babies woos me with her prattle, and perching proudly on my knee, she gives my petted whiskers battle. With both her hands she tucks away, while scolding at me kind or spiteful. You'll not believe me when I say I find the torture quite delightful. No other would presume, I ween, to trifle with this hirsute wonder, else would I rise in vengeful mien and rend his vandal frame asunder. But when her baby fingers pull, with glossy, sleeky and silky treasure, my cup of happiness is full. I fairly glow with pride and pleasure, and sweeter still through all the day, I seem to hear her winsome prattle. I seem to feel her hands at play, as though they gave me sportive battle. Yes, heavenly music seems to steal where thought of her forever lingers, and around my heart I always feel the twining of her dimpled fingers. The Dinky Bird by Eugene Field. In an ocean way out yonder, as all sapient people know, is the land of wonder, why the children love to go. It's the playing, romping, swinging that give great joy to me, while the dinky bird goes singing in the amphalula tree, where the gumdrops grow like cherries and taffy thick as peas, caramels you pick like berries, when and where and how you please. Big red sugar plums are clinging to the cliffs beside that sea, where the dinky bird is singing in the amphalula tree. So when children shout and scamper and make merry all the day, then there's naught to put a damper to the ardour of their play. When I hear their laughter ringing, then I'm sure as sure can be that the dinky bird is singing in the amphalula tree. For the dinky bird's bravuras and staccatos are so sweet, his roulates, appoggiaturas and robustus so complete, that the youth of every nation, be they near or far away, have a special delectation in that gladsome roundelay. Their eyes grow bright and brighter, their lungs begin to crow, their hearts get light and lighter, and their cheeks are all aglow. For an echo cometh ringing the news to all and me, that the dinky bird is singing in the amphalula tree. I'm sure you like to go there to see your feathered friend, and so many goodies grow there you would like to comprehend. Speed little dreams you're winging to that land across the sea, where the dinky bird is singing in the amphalula tree. The Drum by Eugene Field. I'm a beautiful red drum, and I train with the soldier boys, as up the street become wonderful is our noise. There's Tom and Jim and Phil and Dick and Ned and Fred, while Widow Cutler's Bill and I march on ahead with a rat-tat-tat and a tum-diddy-yum-tum-tum. Oh, there's bushels of fun in that for boys with a little red drum. The Injus came last night while the soldiers were abed, and they gobbled a Chinese kite, and off to the woods they fled. The woods are the cherry trees down in the orchard lot, and the soldiers are marching to seize the booty the Injus got, with tum-tiddy-yum-tum-tum and rat-tat-tat. When soldiers marching come, Injus had been scared. Step up there, little Fred and Charlie have a mind. Jim is as far ahead as you two are behind. Ready with gun and sword, your whalers work to do. Yonder the Injun horde are lying in wait for you. And their hearts go pit-a-pat when they hear the soldiers come with a rat-tat-tat and a tum-tiddy-yum-tum-tum. Course it's all in play. The skulking Injun crew that hustled the kite away are little white boys like you, but honest or just in fun, it is all the same to me. And when the battle is won, how once again march we with a rat-tat-tat and a tum-tiddy-yum-tum-tum, and there's glory enough in that for the boys with their little red drum. The Dead Babe by Eugene Field. Last night, as my dear babe lay dead, in agony I knelt and said, O God, what have I done, or in what wise offended thee, that thou shouldst take away from me my little son? Upon the thousand useless lives, upon the guilt that wanting thrives, why wrath the better spent? Why shouldst thou take my little son? Why shouldst thou vent thy wrath upon this innocent? Last night, as my dear babe lay dead, before mine eyes the vision spread of things that might have been. Licentious riot, cruel strife, forgotten prayers, a wasted life, dark red with sin. Then, with sweet music in the air, I saw another vision there, a shepherd in whose keep a little lamb, my little child, of a worldly wisdom undefiled, lay fast asleep. Last night, as my dear babe lay dead, in those 2 messages I read a wisdom manifest. And though my arms be childish now, I am content, to him I bow who knoweth best. The Happy Household by Eugene Field. It's then the birds go piping and the daylight slowly breaks, that clamouring for his dinner our precious baby wakes. Then it's sleep no more for baby, and it's sleep no more for me, for when he wants his dinner, why it's dinner it must be. And of that lacteal fluid he partakes with great ado, while grandma laughs and grandma laughs, and while she laughs and while I laugh too. You'd think to see us carrying on about that little tat, that like as not that baby was the first we'd ever had. But sakes alive, he isn't, yet we people make a fuss, as if the only baby in the world had come to us. And morning, noon, and night time, whatever he may do, grandma, she laughs, grandpa, he laughs, wife, she laughs, and I, of course, laugh too. But once, a likely spell ago, when that poor little chick from teething or from such ill of infancy fell sick, you wouldn't know us people as the same that went about, a feeling good all over just to hear him crow and shout. And though the doctor, poor for our fears, and said he'd pull him through, our grandma dies, and grandpa cried, and wife she cried, and yes, I cried too. It makes us all feel good to have a baby on the place, with his everlasting crowing and his dumpling face. The patter of his pinky feet makes music everywhere, and when he shakes those fists of his, goodbye to every care. No matter what our trouble is, when he begins to coo, old grandma laughs, and grandpa laughs, wife she laughs, and you bet I laugh too. So, Rockabye So by Eugene Field. So, rockabye so, off to the garden where dreamykins grow, and here is a kiss on your winky blink eyes, and here is a kiss on your dimple down cheek, and here is a kiss for the treasure that lies in the beautiful garden way up in the skies which you seek. Now mind these 3 kisses wherever you go. So, rockabye so. There's one little Famfey who lives there, I know, for he dances all night where the dreamykins grow. I sent him this kiss on your droopy drop eyes, I sent him this kiss on your rosy red cheek. And here is a kiss for the dream that shall arise when the Famfey shall dance in those far away skies which you seek. Be sure that you pay those 3 kisses you owe. So, rockabye so. And by low, as you rockabye go, don't forget mother who loveth you so. And here is her kiss on your weepy deep eyes, and here is her kiss on your peachy pink cheek, and here is her kiss for the dreamland that lies like a babe on the breast of those far away skies which you seek. The blinky wink garden where dreamykins grow, so, rockabye so. The Song of Luddidat by Eugene Field. A sunbeam comes creeping into my dear one's nest, and sings to our babe sleeping the song that I love the best. 'Tis little Luddidat in the morning, 'tis little Luddidat at night, and all day long 'tis the same sweet song of that waddling, toddling, coddling little mite, Luddidat. The bird to the tossing clover, the bee to the swaying bud, keep singing that sweet song over of wee little Luddidat. 'Tis little Luddidat in the morning, 'tis little Luddidat at night, and all day long 'tis the same dear song of that growing, crowing, knowing little sprite, Luddidat. Luddidat's cradle is swinging, where softly the night winds blow, and Luddidat's mother is singing a song that is sweet and low. 'Tis little Luddidat in the morning, 'tis little Luddidat at night, and all day long 'tis the sweet same song of my nearest and my dearest heart's delight, Luddidat. The Duel by Eugene Field. The Gingham dog and the Calico cat side by side on the table sat. 'Twas 12:30, and what do you think? Nor one nor t'other had slept a wink. The old Dutch clock and the Chinese plate appeared to know as sure as fate there was going to be a terrible spat. I wasn't there, I simply stayed what was told to me by the Chinese plate. The Gingham dog went bow bow bow, and the Calico cat replied meow. The air was littered an hour or so with bits of Gingham and Calico, while the old Dutch clock in the chimney place up with its hands before its face, for it always dreaded a family row. Now mind, I'm only telling you what the old Dutch clock declares is true. The Chinese plate looked very blue and wailed, "Oh dear, what shall we do?" But the Gingham dog and the Calico cat bellowed with way and tumbled that, employing every tooth and claw in the awfulest way you ever saw. And oh, how the Gingham and Calico flew. Don't fancy I exaggerate, I got my news from the Chinese plate. Next morning, where the two had sat, they found no trace of dog or cat. And some folks think unto this day that the burglar stole that pair away. But the truth about the cat and pup is this: they ate each other up. Now, what do you really think of that? The old Dutch clock, it told me so, and that is how I came to know. Good Children Street by Eugene Field. There's a dear little home in Good Children Street. My heart turneth fondly today, where tinkle of tongues and patter of feet make sweetest of music and play, where the sunshine of love illumes each face and warms every heart in that old-fashioned place. For dear little children go romping about with dollies and tin tops and drums. And my, how they frolic and scamper and shout till bedtime too speedily comes. Oh, days they are golden and days they are fleet, with little folk living in good children street. See, here comes an army with guns painted red, and swords, caps, and plums of all sorts. The captain rides gaily and proudly ahead on a stick horse that prances and snorts. Oh, legions of soldiers you're certain to meet, nice make-believe soldiers in good children street. And yonder Odette wheels her dolly about, poor dolly, I'm sure she is ill. For one of her blue china eyes has dropped out and her voice is asthmatically shrill. Then, too, I observe she is minus her feet, which causes much sorrow in good children street. 'Tis so the dear children go romping about, with dollies and banners and drums. And I venture to say they are sadly put out when an end to their jubilee comes. Oh, days they are golden and days they are fleet, with little folk living in good children street. But when falleth night over river and town, those little folk vanish from sight, and an angel all white from the sky cometh down, and guardeth the babes through the night, and singeth her lullabies tender and sweet to the dear little people in good children street. Though elsewhere the world be o'erburdened with care, though poverty fall to my lot, though toil and vexation be always my share, what care I, they trouble me not. This thought maketh life ever joyous and sweet. There's a dear little home in good children street. The Delectable Ballad of Walter Lott by Eugene Field. Up yonder in Buena Park there is a famous spot, in legend and in history, yclept the Wallalot. There children play in daytime, and lovers stroll by dark, for 'tis the goodliest resting place in all Buena Park. Once on a time that beauteous maid, sweet little Sissy Not, took out her pretty doll to walk within the Wallalot. While thus she fared, from Ravenswood came Injuns o'er the plain, and seized upon the beauteous maid, and rent her doll in twain. Oh, it was a piteous thing to hear her lamentations wild. She tore her golden curls, and cried, My child, my child, my child. Alas, what cared those Injun chiefs, how bitterly wailed she. They never had been mothers, and they could not hope to be. I've done with tears, they rudely quoth, and then they bound her hands, for they proposed to take her off to distant borderlands. But joy, from Mr. Eddy's barn, doeth Willie Clow behold, the sight that makes his hair rise up and all his blood run cold. He put his fingers in his mouth and whistled long and clear, and presently a goodly horde of cowboys did appear. Cried Willie Clow, My comrades bold, haste to the Wallalot, and rescue from that Injun band our charming Sissy Not. Spare neither Injun, buck nor squaw, but smite them hide and hair. Spare neither sex nor age nor size, and no condition spare. Then sped that cowboy band away, full of revengeful wrath, and Kendall Evans rode ahead upon a hickory laugh. And next came gallant Daddy Field and Willie the Rubber Kent, the Eddie Boys and Robbie James and murderous purpose bent. For they were much beholden to that maid, in sooth, the lot were very, very much in love with charming Sissy Not. What wonder, she was beauty's queen, and good beyond compare. Moreover, it was known she was her wealthy father's heir. Now, When the engine saw that band, they trembled with affright, and yet they thought the cheapest thing to do was stay and fight. So sturdily they stood their ground, nor would their prisoner yield, despite the wrath of Williclow and gallant Daddy Field. Oh, never fiercer battle raged upon the Waller lot, and never blood more freely flowed than flowed for Sissy Not. An Indian chief of monstrous size got Kendall Evans down, and Robbie James was soon overthrown by one of great renown. And the field was sorely done, and Williclow was hurt, and all that gallant cowboy band lay wallowing in the dirt. But still they strove with might and main, till all the Waller lot was strewn with hair and gouts of gore, all for Sissy Not. Then cried the maid in despair, "Alas, I sadly fear the battle and my hopes are lost, unless some help appear." Low as she spoke, she saw afar the rescuer looming up, the pride of all Buena Park, Close famous yellow pub. "Now sick am done," the maiden cried. "Now sick am done," cried she. Obedient Don at once complied, as ordered, so did he. He sickened them all so passing well, that, overcome by fright, the Indian horde gave up the fray and safety sought in flight. They ran and ran and ran and ran o'er valley, plain and hill, and if they are not walking now, why then they're running still. The cowboys rose up from the dust with faces black and blue. "Remember, beauteous maid," said they, "we've bled and died for you. And though we suffer grievously, we gladly hail the lot that brings us toils and pains and wounds for charming Sissy Not." But Sissy Not still wailed and wept, and still her fate reviled. For who could patch her dolly up? Who could mend her child? Then out her doubting mother came, and soothed her daughter then. "Grieve not, my darling, I will sew your dolly up again." Joy soon succeeded unto grief, and tears were soon dried up, and dignities were heaped upon close noble yellow pup. Him all that goodly company did as deliverer hail. They tied a ribbon around his neck and around his tail. And every anniversary day upon the Waller lot, they celebrate the victory won for charming Sissy Not. And I, the poet of these folk, am ordered to compile this truly famous history in good old ballad style, which having done as to have earned the sweet rewards of fame, and what some style I did begin, I now shall end the same. So let us sing, long live the king, long live the queen and Jack, long live the 10th spot and the ace, and also all the pack. The Fly-Away Horse by Eugene Field. Oh, a wonderful horse is the Fly-Away Horse. Perhaps you have seen him before. Perhaps while you slept his shadow has swept through the moonlight that floats on the floor. For it's only at night, when the stars twinkle bright, that the fly-away horse, with a neigh and a pull at his rein and a toss of his mane, is up on his heels and away. The moon in the sky, as he gallopeth by, cries, "Oh, what a marvelous sight!" And the stars in dismay hide their faces away in the lap of old grandmother night. It is yonder, out yonder, the fly-away horse speedeth ever and ever away, over meadows and lanes, over mountains and plains, over streamlets that sing at their play, and over the sea, like a ghost sweepeth he, while the ships they go sailing below, and he speedeth so fast that the man at the mast adjudge him some portent of woe. What who were, they cry, as he flourishes by with a whisk of his beautiful tail, and the fish in the sea are as scared as can be, from the Nautilus up to the whale. And the fly-away horse seeks those far-away lands you little folk dream of at night, where candy trees grow and honey brooks flow, and cornfields with popcorn are white, and the beasts in the wood are ever so good to children who visit them there. What a glorious stride of a lion to ride, or to wrestle around with a bear. The monkeys, they say, "Come on, let us play," and they frisk in the coconut trees, while the parrots that cling to the peanut vines sing or converse with comparative ease. Off, scamper to bed, you shall ride him tonight, for as soon as you've fallen asleep, with a jubilant neigh he shall bear you away over forest and hillside and deep. But tell us, my dear, all you see and you hear in those beautiful lands over there, where the fly-away horse wings his far-away course, with the wee one consigned to his care. When Grandma will cry in amazement, "Oh my!" and she think it could never be so, and only we two shall know it is true. You and I, little precious, shall know. The Stork by Eugene Field. Last night the stork came stalking, and the stork beneath your wing lay lapped in dreamless slumber, the tiniest little thing. From babyland out yonder, beside a silver sea, you brought a priceless treasure as gift to mine and me. Last night, my dear one listened, and wife, you knew the cry. The dear old stork has sought our home many times gone by, and in your gentle bosom I found the pretty thing that from the realm of yonder our friend the stork did bring. Last night a babe awakened, and babe, how strange and new must seem the home and people the stork has brought you to. And yet methinks you, like them, you neither stare nor weep, but closer to my dear one you cuddle and you sleep. Last night my heart grew fonder, O happy heart of mine. Sing of the inspirations that round my pathway shine, and sing your sweetest love song to this dear nestling wee. The stork from way out yonder hath brought to mine and me. The Bottle Tree by Eugene Field. A bottle tree bloometh in winky way land, Heigho, for a bottle, I say. A snug little berth in that ship I demand, that rocketh the bottle tree babies away, where the bottle tree bloometh by night and by day, and reacheth its fruit to each wee dimpled hand. You take of that fruit as much as you list, for colic's a nuance that doesn't exist. So cuddle me close, and cuddle me fast, and cuddle me snug in my cradle away. For I hunger and thirst for that precious repast, Heigho, for a bottle, I say. The bottle tree bloometh by night and by day. Heigho for Winky Way land. And bottle tree fruit, as I've heard people say, makes bellies of bottle tree babies expand, and that is a trick I would fain understand. Heigho for a bottle to day, and heigho for a bottle to night. A bottle of milk that is creamy and white, so cuddle me close and cuddle me fast, and cuddle me snug in my cradle away. For I hunger and thirst for that precious repast. Heigho for a bottle, I say. Googly Go by Eugene Field. Of mornings, bright and early, when the lark is on the wing, and the robin in the maple hops from her nest to sing, from yonder cherry chamber cometh a mellow coo. 'Tis the sweet, persuasive treble of my little googly coo. The sunbeams hear his music, and they seek his little bed, and they dance their prettiest dances round his golden curly head. Schottisches gallops, minuets, gavots, and waltzes too, dance they unto the music of my googly coo. My heart, it leapeth to hear that treble tone. What music like thy music, my darling and my own. And patiently, yes, cheerfully, I toil the long day through. My labour seemeth lightened by the song of googly goo. I may not see his antics, nor kiss his dimpled cheek. I may not smooth the tresses the sunbeams laugh to seek. It mattereth not the echo of his sweet, persuasive coo, recurreth to remind me of my little googly goo. And when I come at evening, I stand without the door, and patiently I listen for that dear sound once more. And oftentimes I wonder, oh God, what should I do if any ill should happen to my little googly goo? Then in a fright I call him, I hear his gleeful shouts, "Begone, ye dread forebodings, begone, ye killing doubts." For with my arms about him, my heart warms through and through with the oogling and the googling of my little googly goo. The Bench-Legged Face by Eugene Field. Speaking o' dogs, my bench-legged face had most o' the virtues and nary a vice. Some folks called him sooner a name that arose from his predisposition to chronic repose. But rouse his ambition he couldn't be bet, year he got were on all his forefeet. Most dogs has some thought, like huntmen such, but the sports o' the field didn't bother him much. Was just a plain dog, and contented to be on peaceable terms with the neighbors and me, used to fiddle and squirm and grunt, oh how nice, when I tickled the back of that bench-legged face. He was long in the bar, like a fish ought to be. His collar was yellow as ever you see. His tail, curling upward, was long, loose, and slim. When he didn't wag it by the tail, it wagged him. His legs was so crooked, my bench-legged pup was as tall setting down as he was standing up. He'd lie by the stove of a night and regret the various beetles and things he had at. When a stranger, most likely a tramp, came along, he'd lift up his voice in significant song. You wondered, by gum, how there ever was space in that bosom, or hasten to hold so much bass. Of daytime he'd sneak to the road and lie down and tackle the country dogs coming to town. By common consent he was boss in St. Joe, for what he took hold of he never let go. And a dude that come courtin' our girl left a slice of his white flannel suit with our bench-legged thighs. He was good to us kids. When he pulled at his fur or twisted his tail, he would never demur. He seemed to enjoy all our play and our chaff, for his tongue would hang out and he'd laugh and he'd laugh. And once, when the Hobart boy fell through the ice, he was the clean show by that bench-legged thighs. We all have our choice, and you, like the rest, allow that the dog which you've got is the best. I wouldn't give much for the boy that grows up with no friendship subsisting between him and the pup. When a fellow gets out, I tell you it's nice to think of his youth and his bench-legged thighs. To think of the springtime way back in St. Joe, of the peach trees abloom and the daisies ablow, to think of the play in the meadow and grove, when little legs wrestled and little hands strove, to think of the loyalty, valor and truth, of the friendship that hallow the season of youth. Little Miss Bragg by Eugene Field. Little Miss Bragg has much to say to the rich lady from over the way, and the rich little lady puts out a lip as she looks at her own white dainty slip, and wishes that she could wear a gown as pretty as gingham of faded brown. For little Miss Bragg, she lays much stress on the privileges of a gingham dress. Aha, oh, the rich little lady from over the way has beautiful dolls in vast array. Yet she envies the raggedy home-made doll she hears our little Miss Bragg extol. For the raggedy doll can fear no hurt from wet or heat or tumble or dirt. Her nose is inked and her mouth is too, and one eye's black and the other's blue. Ah, oh. The rich little lady goes out to ride with a footman standing up outside, yet wishes that sometimes after dark her father would trundle her in the park, that sometimes her mother would sing the things little Miss Bragg says her mother sings, when through the attic windows streams the moonlight full of golden dreams. Aha, oh. Yes, little Miss Bragg has much to say to the rich little lady from over the way. And yet, who knows, but from her heart often the bitter sighs uprise to lose their burn and sting in the grace of the tongue that loves to sing. Praise of the treasures all its own, so I've come to love that treble town. Aha, oh. The Humming Top by Eugene Field. The top it hummeth a sweet, sweet song to my dear little boy at play, merrily singeth all day long as it spinneth and spinneth away. And my dear little boy, he laugheth with joy when he heareth the monotone of that busy thing that loveth to sing the song that is all its own. Hold fast the string and wind it tight, that the song be loud and clear. Now hurl the top with all your might upon the banquet here, and straight from the string the joyous thing boundeth and spinneth along, and it whirs and it chirrs, and it bears and it purrs ever its pretty song. Will ever my dear little boy grow old, as some have grown before? Will ever his heart feel faint and cold, when he heareth the songs of yore? Will ever this toy of my dear little boy when the years have worn away, sing sad and low of the long ago, as it singeth to me today. Lady Button Eyes by Eugene Field. When the busy day is done, and my very little one rocketh gently to and fro, when the night winds softly blow, and the crickets in the glen chirp and chirp and chirp again, when upon the haunted green fairies dance around their queen, then from yonder misty skies cometh Lady Button Eyes. Through the murk and mist and gloom, to our quiet cosy home, where to singing sweet and low rocks a cradle to and fro, where the clocks dull monotone telleth of the day that's done, where the moonbeams hover our playthings sleeping on the floor, where my very wee one lies, cometh Lady Button Eyes. Cometh like a fleeting ghost from some distant eerie coast. Never footfall can you hear, as that spirit fareth near. Never whisper, never word from that shadow queen is heard. In ethereal raiment dight, from the realm of fate and sprite, in the depth of yonder skies, cometh Lady Button Eyes. Layeth she her hands upon my dear very little one, and those white hands overspread like a veil the curly head, seem to fondle and caress ever little silken tress. Then she smooths the eyelids down over those two eyes of brown, in such soothing, tender wise cometh Lady Button Eyes. Dearest, feel upon your brow that caressing magic now, for the crickets in the glen chirp and chirp and chirp again, while upon the haunted green fairies dance around their queen, and the moonbeams hover our playthings sleeping on the floor. Hush, my sweet, from yonder skies cometh Lady Button Eyes. The Ride to Bumville by Eugene Field. Play that my knee was a calico mare, saddled and bridled for Bumville. Leap to the back of this steed, if you dare, and gallop away to Bumville. I hope you'll be sure to sit fast in your seat, for this calico mare is prodigiously fleet, and many adventures you're likely to meet as you journey along to Bumville. This calico mare both gallops and trots, while whisking you off to Bumville. She paces, she shies, and she stumbles in spots in the tortuous road to Bumville. And sometimes this strangely mercurial steed will suddenly stop and refuse to proceed, which all will admit is vexatious indeed when one is en route to Bumville. She's scared of the cars when the engine goes toot down by the crossing at Bumville. You'll better look out for that treacherous brood bearing you off to Bumville. With a snort she rears up on her hindermost heels, and executes jigs and Virginia reels. Word failed to explain how embarrassed one feels dancing so wildly to Bumville. It's bumpty bump and it's jiggity jog journeying on to Bumville. It's over the hilltop and down through the bog. You ride on your way to Bumville. It's rattle-tie-bang over boulder and stump. There are rivers to ford, there are fences to jump. And the Colroy road, it goes bumpty bump, mile after mile to Bumville. Perhaps you'll observe it's no easy thing making the journey to Bumville. So I think on the whole it were prudent to bring an end to this ride to Bumville. For though she has uttered no protest or plaint, the Calico-Ma must be blowing and faint. What's more to the point, I'm blowed if I ain't, so play we have got to Bumville. The Rook by Eugene Field. I looked in the brook and saw a face. Heigho, but a child was I. There were rushes and willows in that place, and they clutched at the brook as they rook ran by. And the brook it ran its own sweet way, as a child doth run in heedless play. And as it ran, I heard it say, "Hasten with me to the roistering sea that is wroth with the flame of the morning sky." I look in the brook and see a face. Heigho, but the years go by. The rushes are dead in the old time place, and the willows I knew when a child was I. And the brook it seemeth to me to say, as ever it stealeth on its way, solemnly now and not in play, "Oh, come with me to the slumberous sea that is grey with the peace of the evening sky." Picnic Time by Eugene Field. It's June again, and in my soul I feel the fillin' joy that's sure to come this time o' year to every little boy. For every June the Sunday schools at picnics may be seen, where fields beyond the swellen floods stand dressed in living green, where little girls are scared to death with spiders, bugs, and ants, and little boys get grass stains on their go-to-meeting pens. It's June again, and with it all, what happiness is mine. There's going to be a picnic, and I'm going to gin. One year I ginned the Baptists, and goodness, how it rained. But Grandpa says that that's the way baptizo is explained. And once I ginned the Episcopals and had a heap of fun, but the boss of all the picnics was the Presbyterian. They had so many puddings, salads, sandwiches, and pies that a fella wished his stomach was as hungry as his eyes. Oh yes, the Eton Presbyterians give year is so fine that when they have a picnic, you bet I'm going to gin. But at this time the Methodists have special claims on me, for they are going to give a picnic on the 21st DV. Why should a liberal universalist like me object to share the joys of fellowship with every friendly sect. However heterodox their articles of faith elsewise may be, their doctrine of fried chicken is a saving grace to me. So on the 21st of June, the weather being fine, we're going to give a picnic and I'm going to jive. Shuffle, Shoon and Ember Locks by Eugene Field. Shuffle, Shoon and Ember Locks sit together building blocks. Shuffle, Shoon is old and grey, Ember Locks a little child. But together at their play, age and youth are reconciled, and with sympathetic glee build their castles fair to see. When I grow to be a man, so the wee ones rattle ren, I shall build a castle so, with a gateway broad and grand. Here a pretty vine shall grow, there a soldier guard shall stand, and the tower shall be so high, folks will wonder by and by. Shuffle, Shoon quoth, yes, I know, thus I builded long ago. Here a gate and there a wall, here a window, there a door. Here a steeple wondrous tall, riseth ever more and more. But the years have levelled low what I builded long ago. So they gossip at their play, heedless of the fleeting day. One speaks of the long ago, where his dead hopes buried lie. One with chubby cheeks aglow, fretteleth of the by and by. Side by side they build their blocks, Shuffle, Shoon and Ember Locks. The Shut-Eye Train by Eugene Field. Come, my little one, with me, there are wondrous sights to see, as the evening shadows fall. In your pretty cap and gown, don't detain the shut-eye train. Ting-a-ling, the bell it goeth, toot toot, the whistling bloweth. And we hear the warning call, all aboard for Shut-Eye Town. Over hill and over plain, soon will speed the Shut-Eye train. Through the blue where bloom the stars and the mother moon looks down, wheel away to land of Fay. Oh, the sights that we shall see there. Come, my little one, with me there. 'Tis a goodly train of cars, all aboard for Shut-Eye Town. Swifter than a wild bird's flight through the realms of fleecy light, we shall speed and speed away. Let the night in envy frown, what care we how rough she be, to the Balow land above us, to the Balow folk who love us. Let us hasten while we may, all aboard for Shut-Eye Town. Shut-Eye Town is passing fair, golden dreams await us there. We shall dream those dreams, my dear, till the mother moon goes down. See unfold delights untold, and in those mysterious places we shall see beloved faces and beloved voices hear, in the grace of Shut-Eye Town. Heavy are your eyes, my sweet, weary are your little feet. Nestle closer up to me in your pretty cap and gown. Don't detain the Shut-Eye train. Ting-a-ling, the bell it goeth, toot toot, the whistle bloweth. Oh, the sights that we shall see, all aboard for Shut-Eye Town. Little Oh Dear by Eugene Field. See what a wonderful garden is here, planted and trimmed for my little oh dear. Posies so gaudy and grass of such renown, search ye the country and hunt ye the town, and never ye'll meet with a garden so queer as this one I've made for my little oh dear. Marigolds white and buttercups blue, lilies all dabbled with honey and dew, the cactus that trails over trellis and wall, roses and pansies and violets, all make proper obeisance and reverent cheer when into her garden steps little oh dear. And up at the top of that lavender tree a silver bird singeth as only can she, for ever and only she singeth the song, I love you, the happy day long. Then the echo that smitheth me here, I love you, my little oh dear. The garden may thither the silver bird fly, but what careth my little precious, or I, from her pathway of flowers that in springtime upstart, she walketh the tenderer way in my heart, and oh, it is always the summer time here, with that song of I love you, my little oh dear. Swing high and swing low by Eugene Field. Swing high and swing low while the breezes they blow. It's off for a sailor thy father would go, and it's here in the harbour, in sight of the sea. He hath left his wee babe with my song and with me. Swing high and swing low while the breezes they blow. Swing high and swing low while the breezes they blow. It's all for the waiting as weary days go, and it's all for the heartache that smitheth me now. I sing my song over and over again. Swing high and swing low while the breezes they blow. Swing high and swing low, the sea singeth so, and it waileth anon in its ebb and its flow. And the sleeper sleeps on to that song of the sea, nor recketh he ever of mine or of me. Swing high and swing low, while the breezes they blow. 'Twas off for a sailor my father would go. When I Was a Boy by Eugene Field. Up in the attic where I slept, when I was a boy, a little boy, in through the lattice the moonlight crept, bringing a tide of dreams that swept over the low red trundle bed, bathing the tangled curly head, while moonbeams played at hide and seek with the dimples on the sun-browned cheek, when I was a boy, a little boy. And oh, the dreams I dreamt when I was a boy, a little boy. For the grace that through the lattice streamed over me folded eyelids seemed to have the gift of prophecy, and to bring me glimpses of times to be, when manhood's clarion seemed to call. Ah, that was the sweetest dream of all, when I was a boy, a little boy. I'd like to sleep where I used to sleep when I was a boy, a little boy, for in at the lattice the moon would peep, bringing her tide of dreams to sweep the crosses and griefs of the years away from the heart that is weary and faint today. And those dreams should give me back again a peace I have never known since then, when I was a boy, a little boy. At Play by Eugene Field. Play that you are mother dear, and play that papa is your bird. Play that we sit in the corner here, just as we used to long ago. Playing so, we lovers two are just as happy as we can be, and I'll say I love you to you, and you say I love you to me. I love you, we both shall say, all in earnest and all in play. Or play that you are that other one that sometime came and went away, and play that the light of years agone stole into my heart again today. Playing that you are the one I knew in the days that never again may be. I'll say, I love you to you, and you say, I love you to me. I love you, my heart shall say, to the ghost of the past come back today. Or play that you sought this nestling place for your own sweet self, with that jewel guise of your pretty mother in your face, and the look of that other in your eyes. So the dear old loves shall live anew as I hold my darling on my knee, and I'll say I love you to you, and you say I love you to me. Oh, many a strange true thing we say and do when we pretend to play. Valentine by Eugene Field. Go, Cupid, and my sweetheart tell I love her well. Yes, though she tramples on my heart and rends that bleeding thing apart, and though she rolls a scornful eye on doubting me when I go by, and though she scouts at everything as tribute unto her I bring, apple, banana, caramel, haste, Cupid, to my love and tell, in spite of all, I love her well. And further say I have a sled cushioned in blue and painted red. The grocery man has promised I can hitch whenever he goes by. Go tell her that, and furthermore, apprise my sweetheart that a score of other little girls implore the boon of riding on that sled, painted and hitched as aforesaid. And tell her, Cupid, only she shall ride upon that sled with me. Tell her this all, and further tell I love her well. Little All Alone by Eugene Field. Little All Alone's feet pitter-patter in the hall, and his mother runs to meet and to kiss her toddling sweet, perchance he fell. He is oh so weak and small, yet what danger shall he fear when his mother hovereth near, and he hears her cheering call, All Alone? Little All Alone's face, it is all aglow with glee, as around that romping place at a terrifying pace longeth plungeth he. And that hero seems to be all unconscious of our cheers, only our dear voice he hears, calling reassuringly, All Alone. Though his legs bend with their load, though his feet they seem so small, that you cannot help forebode some disastrous episode in that noisy hall, neither threatening bump nor fall Little All Alone fears, but with sweet bravado steers whenever comes that cheery call, All Alone. Ah, that in the years to come, when he shares of sorrow's store, when his feet are chill and numb, when his cross is burdensome, and his heart is sore, would that he could hear once more the gentle voice he used to hear, diving with mother love and cheer, calling from yonder spirit shore, all alone. The Cunning Little Thing by Eugene Field. When baby wakes at morning, then it's wake ye people all. For another day of song and play has come at our darling's call, and till she gets her dinner, she makes the welkin ring, and she won't keep still till she's had her fill, the cunning little thing. When baby goes a-walking, oh, how her paddies fly, for that's the way the babies say to other folk bye-bye. The trees bend down to kiss her, and the birds in rapture sing, as where she stands and waves her hands, the cunning little thing. When baby goes a-rocking in her bed at close of day, at hide and seek on her dainty cheek, the dreams and the dimples play. When it's sleep in the tender kisses, the guardian angels bring, from the far above to my sweetest love, you cunning little thing. The Doll's Wooing by Eugene Field. The little French doll was a dear little doll, tricked out in the sweetest of dresses. Her eyes were of hue the most delicate blue, and dark as the night were her tresses. Her dear little mouth was fluted and red, and this little French doll was so very well bred that whenever accosted, her little mouth said, "Mamma, mamma." The stockinette doll with one arm and one leg had once been a handsome young fellow, but now he appeared rather frowsy and bleared, in his torn regimentals of yellow. Yet his heart gave a curious thump as he lay in the little toy cart near the window one day, and heard the sweet voice of that French doll say, "Mamma, mamma." He listened so long, and he listened so hard, that anon he grew ever so tender. For it's everywhere known that the feminine tone gets away with all masculine gender. He up and he wooed her with soldierly zest, but all she'd reply to the love he professed were these plaintive words, which perhaps you have guessed, "Mamma, mamma." Her mother, a sweet little lady of 5, vouchsafed her parental protection, and although stockinette wasn't blue-blooded yet, she really could make no objection. So Soldier and Dolly were wedded one day, and a moment ago, as I journeyed that way, I'm sure that I heard a wee baby voice say, "Mamma, mamma." Inscription for my little son's silver plate by Eugene Field. When thou dost eat from off this plate, I charge thee be thou temperate. Unto thine elders at the board do thou sweet reverence accord, and thou to dignity inclined, unto the serving folk be kind. Be ever mindful of the poor, nor turn them hungry from the door. And unto God for health and food, and all that in thy life is good, give thou thy heart in gratitude. Seeing Things by Eugene Field. I ain't afeard of snakes or toads or bugs or worms or mice, and things that girls are scared of, I think, are awful nice. I'm pretty brave, I guess, and yet I hate to go to bed. For when I'm tucked up warm and snug, and when my prayers are said, Mother tells me happy dreams and takes away the light, and leaves me lying all alone and seeing things at night. Sometimes they are in the corner, sometimes they're by the door, sometimes they're all a-standing in the middle of the floor. Sometimes they are a-sitting down, sometimes they're walking around, so softly and so creepy-like they never make a sound. Sometimes they are as black as ink, and other times they are white, but the color ain't no difference when you see things at night. Once when I licked a fella that had just moved on our street, and father sent me up to bed without a bite to eat, I woke up in the dark and saw things standing in a row, and looking at me cross-eyed and pointing at me so. Oh my, I was so scared that time I never slept a minute. It's almost always when I'm bad I see things at night. Lucky thing I ain't a girl, or I'd be scared to death. When I'm a boy, I duck my head and hold my breath, and I am, oh, so sorry, I am a naughty boy, and when I promise to be better, and I say my prayers again. Grandma tells me that's the only way to make it right, when a fella has been wicked and sees things at night. And so, when other naughty boys would coax me into sin, I'd try to squish the tempter's voice and urges me within, and when there's pie for supper or cakes, it's big and nice, I want to, but I do not pass my plate for them things twice. Now, rather let starvation wipe me slowly out of sight than I should keep a living on and seeing things at night. Fisherman Jim's Kids by Eugene Field. Fisherman Jim lived on the hill with his bonny wife and his little boys. 'Twas blow ye winds as blow ye will, not the wreck of your cold and noise. For happy and warm were he and his, and he dandled his kids upon his knee to the song of the sea. Fisherman Jim would sail all day, but when come night, upon the sands his little kins ran from their play, calling to him and waving their hands. Though the wind was fresh and the sea was high, he'd hear, you bet, above the roar of the waves on the shore. Once Fisherman Jim sailed into the bay as the sun went down in a cloudy sky, and never a kid saw he at play, and he listened in vain for the welcoming cry. In his little house he learned it all, and he clenched his hands and bowed his head. The fever, they said. 'Twas a pitiful time for Fisherman Jim, with them darlings a-dying afore his eyes, a-stretchin' their wee hands out to him, and a-breaking his heart with the old-time cries he had heard so often upon the sands, for they thought they was helping his boat ashore till they spoke no more. But Fisherman Jim lived on and on, casting his nets and sailing to sea. As a man will live when his heart is gone, Fisherman Jim lived hopelessly, till once in those years they come and said, "Old Fisherman Jim is powerful sick, go to him quick." Then Fisherman Jim says he to me, "It's a long, long cruise, you understand, but over beyond the raging sea, I came to see my boys on the shining sand, waiting to help this old hulk ashore, just as they used to, mate, you know, in the long ago." No, sir, he wasn't afraid to fear, for all night long he seemed to see his little boys of the days gone by, and to hear sweet voices forgot by me, and just as the morning sun come up, "They're holding me by the hands," he cried, and so he died. Over the Hills and Far Away by Eugene Field. Over the hills and far away, a little boy steals from his morning play, and under the blossoming apple tree he lies and he dreams of the things to be, of battles fought and of victories won, of wrongs overthrown and of great deeds done, of the valor that he shall prove some day. Over the hills and far away, over the hills and far away. Over the hills and far away, it's for the toil the lifelong day, but it mattereth not to the soul aflame with a love for riches and power and fame. On a man while the sun is high, on to the certain joys that lie yonder where blazeth the noon of day. Over the hills and far away, over the hills and far away. Over the hills and far away, an old man lingers at close of day. Now that his journey is almost done, his battles fought and his victories won, the old-time honesty and truth, the trustfulness and the friends of youth, home and mother, where are they? Over the hills and far away, over the years and far away.